Yeah, definitely a big move for SKT. But remember, Samsung, they've been controlling the Dragon previously, and they've already got the Infernal and the Mountain in their pocket, which is going to help a lot towards the late game, whereas the Ocean Drake is going to fall off, and then another Ocean Drake is coming up, so not really an opportunity for SKT to answer as far as those spawns are concerned. And really, it is going to be so much about, are these Ash Arrows going to hit? Are they going to fire over these wards? And who's got Flash Up? Neither of the carries for Samsung have Flash Up at the moment.
Well, Ula doesn't need it.
Gotta walk yourself out then.
Bitman's gonna safeguard.
As soon as they have Crown of the top lane, SKT is fearless in their initiation.
Relentless engage from SKT, and they're not done yet.
That's more.
All right, Flankson get jumped on by 2 members, but the support from Wolf as well as Bang coming up from the river. SKT grab themselves another kill, and it feels like whenever Samsung do not have a flash, they are such a juicy target.
Remember that the backline for SKT is also quite juicy as far as Cuvée is concerned with the Kennen. His flash, his teleport, both about to come off of cooldown when he hits level 16.
So where are the wards, Kobe? I can see one in the bottom lane behind Duke. It's not the most ideal of targets. A couple in the mid lane. So SKT would have to overextend to themselves as a juicy, perfect target for Cuvée.
It's true, and also Duke would have to have less split push pressure, because even though he has the early shove on the Gnar, when you get that frozen mallet, it becomes really difficult for Cuvée to actually get a window with which to teleport.
Also, as you can see by the cooldown on that Proto Belt, he constantly uses the Proto Belt to clear minion waves, so then wouldn't have it if there's an on-demand teleport, if something breaks out, and you need to have these instant responses, because as we talked about, SKT decision making is lightning quick.
It's allowed them to win 2 games of the series. Faker threw down the Ghost and the Shockwave didn't kill Core JJ. We've gone over 30 minutes and it's a 1,500 gold lead for SKT. The towers are even. Baron is starting to become a juicier and more interesting target. And Blank has picked up so not only does he have Cell Division, he's also got that Guardian Angel. So nice, you have to kill him thrice. If at all.
Great feeling. Charge straight into the fight. We'll see if it's necessary, even though, as Bang, again, looking for those pockets of fog of war. They're all on the bottom side of the map at the moment. Samsung know that, they can't let up as far as the vision control around Baron at the moment.
Yeah, and quick shot, you mentioned Guardian Angel, but the Death Cap and Void Staff completed on Faker, and then the Infinity Edge and the crit build being completed on Fang. SKT is incredibly strong right now. We don't have the same level of item power spikes on Ruler or Crown right now, so really, if SKT get some type of pick here, it could turn into a massive advantage.
Well, this is where the scaling side of the SKT comp really starts to come into its own. Black Cleaver now picked up for Duke. Cuvée sitting on his 3-item spike, Void Staff, Hourglass, and that Proto Belt. But he needs the wards. He needs to get in behind SKT to win a team fight, because if you look at all the damage on the Samsung Galaxy, it's going to take so many rotations of spells to get through Zac and Gnar alone, if they're on a straight-up head-to-head fight.
There is a huge amount of pressure on Cuvé's shoulders to run the makeshift front line using the zoning of his ultimate, but then also the invulnerability of his Zhonya's. There's plenty of damage on Samsung, and once someone does get stunned up, with the ultimate of Kennen, Crown has been magnificent at layering his gravity shield, gravity fields.
Ash Arrow onto Ambition. Blank's coming in from behind. And the fight's now going to break out. Gravity Field will pull Blank backwards. That should be the GA pot. Cell Division still available. Curtain Call interrupted. Very good tidal wave. He's found 3. Blank charges up. The Maelstrom. The Slingshot. Faker's down. Samsung get 3.
Quick shot, just like we talked about, the wards, and SKT move right up into Samsung's jungle, right where they want him. They collapse. Now it's going to be the Baron for them as well.
And it's nothing that SKT can do about it at this point. They meander into a fight in Samsung's jungle and get absolutely obliterated by Samsung's response. That is the reverse of what you expect when watching SKT, who normally is the reactive team.
The arrow onto SYN, who simply safeguards away. And even though Blank has multiple lives, you don't want to use them inside the jungle. They corner themselves. Gnar is not there to start it out either, and That is the dream flank. All members of the back line for Cuvée. When the pressure is on, the weight on his shoulders, he grabs them all.
Not to mention the tidal wave was used to interrupt the curtain call, which left no disengage once Cuvée had entered the fight. Massive play.
That's a blank special. Just overreaching. No, just overreaching.
You've seen it so many times, and that's why Bengi seems to sync better with SKT sometimes. He was over the wall, he didn't hit anyone with his elastic slingshot, and then everyone was waiting around for his Guardian Angel.
All right, I love criticizing Blank, but that was probably a team call.
One of your favorite things.
It was probably a team call there because they went with Ash Arrow, they wanted to engage on it.
Tidal Wave was thrown down in the mid lane.
They get Faker!
Galaxy, they've killed Faker. We didn't see the setup, but it doesn't matter. With Baron buff looking to make a play. I can see Ambition's flashes down. I'm sure we're going to replay of that.
Much like in the last game, Samsung get Baron, Faker tries to defend an outer turret, and Ambition just sneaks in the backside to get the kickoff. This is going to be another big Baron power play for Samsung.
Already at 3,000 gold. They take their 5th tower of the game. They're sieging up in multiple lanes. Now they're pressuring the mid inhib. 28 seconds before Faker can respawn. Inhib on the bottom lane is down. Samsung onto the inhibitors. 15 seconds before Faker comes up. Mid and bottom might just fall in a matter of seconds. Mid
oh my God.
Synchronized inhib. Ruler gets tagged, instantly throws the QSS down and is able to run away. Woo!
We are getting closer and closer to a 5th game in the World Finals, which we have never had before, but Samsung would have to be able to close. They're 5,000 gold up. And SKT will Baron power play. This is approaching a 6,000 gold Baron power play here. Look at that. Ambition goes in, finds Faker again. This is almost like we're watching it over and over again. Ambition in on Faker, takes Guardian Angel down his cell division. Going to be difficult for him to get a good. Samsung is just using their zone control, staying spread out. They have the QSS on Ruler already, and when they get the Mikhail's Asher initiation won't be possible.
Oh, Ambition's looking for Faker again. Not going to find him just yet. Let's bounce, interrupting the possibility of a dead. Ambition is now down. SKT turning it around. Core JJ gets caught out. The Mega Narc comes down as well. That's 2 kills for SKT. Samsung unable to find a kick this time around.
Great punish there from SKT, making Ambition pay this time around. And that should be enough to actually buy them a huge amount of time for those inhibitors to come back up. Yes, we just had a game where Samsung had multiple SKT inhibitors down, yet it took them 70 minutes. So we could very well be in for the long haul.
Yeah, watching this attempt one more time, they do see Faker on a ward, so they think they can get the pick. Because if they get this with 2 inhibitors down, they think they win the game. But he can't sneak beef here. And then he gets heavily punished by the tidal wave and the ultimate from Faker, timing just right with the Nar teleport.
That's the thing with Lee Sin. You usually need Flash to pull off the really miraculous plays. And without the extra ability there, Ambition, a little bit too much.
The scale of SKT's deficit is not the same as Samsung Galaxy, but they find themselves in a similar scenario. They're behind, their opponents have got strong map control, there's super minions on the map, and Samsung Galaxy are looking great routes, but Duke managed to hop away. Yube's still gonna...
It's a matter of how much help he has. He has no one to help him right now.
All right, there's no support. This should equal a kill. The hop, the bounce, the final shot. Not gonna find his target. The stun does. Juve combos with Ruler.
The 2 inhibitors are still down. There will be 1 wave of super minions that I think crashes in the bottom side as they assault this outer turret.
And that was a very dodgeable skill there from Duke, and he just runs straight instead of taking the half step backward, eats the root, ends up going down. And now Ambition once again.
He gets caught up by Enchanted Crystal Arrow, the bubble, the bounce, everything. Chaos Storm is buying some time. Bang is forced to run away. Look at the damage from those ticks over and over, and the tower falls.
Yeah, but I like SKT countering that play, knowing Ambition is going for the flank.
Cuvée though!
He's looking for more. Wolf is able to get away to safety. The tower is being focused by Ruler and Clown. That means all towers except Nexus are down.
You can tell this team refueled after that victory. The resurgence here from Samsung. Looking to get 3 inhibitors already, only 30 minutes into the game.
And because of the super minions pushing the bottom turret, SKT weren't able to punish in the upcoming 4v5 with Duke respawning. Samsung knew what they had.
A far more convincing game this time around from Samsung, looking to even this series up.
And I think that's a key word, though, Kobe, looking to even the series up. Yes, they got the 3 inhibitors down. 2 of them will be respawning pretty soon. And maybe they'll be able to take the Elder Drake and the Baron defense from there. They still have the potential of a Zac with an Orianna. But with the way Samsung's been playing, it doesn't seem that likely to work for SKT.
The thing is, with this composition, when you open up the map this much, you can't even open up the map further for Samsung. There are so many spots that SKT have to clear for wards. There's almost no way they can be confident if they ever go out to contest an objective that there's not a ward behind them. They constantly have to be looking over their shoulders for Cuvée.
Because of the death cap as well. He's had that one great initiation, and there's the threat of the other one. That's what they should be using to try and secure this Baron and this Elder Drake. The order, even though Elder Drake comes up first, should be Baron to the Elder Drake, because the Baron lasts much longer, and they want to maximize their time with both buffs.
Samsung Galaxy on the verge of making history here. And the World 5 games against a team that everyone expected to just wipe the floor with Samsung. And they've showed incredible grit throughout the series. Playing from behind, and now they've started Baron proactively.
Cuvée is hoping they come into the choke so he can get the flank on them, but he can't get caught. Let's go for Faker!
He's gonna find Faker and kill him, but he's now left alone in the pit. Duke running for his life. A couple more tags. Cuvée can't find the stun just yet. Tidal Wave sends him fishing. Crown throwing down those death rays over and over. Blanker's exhaust. The curtain call. The gravity.
Oh,
Double for Bang.
Holy! Bang comes up huge right there! He's able to save the game for SKT!
It's not over. Blank slingshots into the mid lane. Core JJ's looking to bounce him down. The ebb, the flow, not going to be enough for the kill just yet. Here comes Ambition. Rulers on a rampage. Ambition looking for the Sonic Wave. Duke hops away and gets to safety.
If Crown was able to close that kill onto Bang, we would be listening to Silver Scrapes right now before Game 5.
We're not play it that early.
Just play for 10 minutes. Wolf, though, I cannot underscore Wolf's exhaust when Crown went for the flash was critical in keeping them alive in that setup, and this game is still far from over.
Whew. All right, let's take another look at the kill from Faker's perspective. No time to react at all.
On a Jin trap, too, so really no escape there. But they go for the Baron Shield, don't get it. And at this point, SKT needs to be in a full retreat. Duke knocks Cuvée back a little bit, and Crown has just running as fast as he can right here. And he wants the assassination onto Bang. That's all he cares about.
He wants to end the game right now. They're
exhausted immediately.
If that was in there, they would be able to finish it completely. Bang flashes over the gravity field. Lifesteals his way there. Comes up huge for SKT once again.
Samsung Galaxy still maintain control. Baron on a couple of their members and exposed inhibitors in the middle and bottom lane. As we crest the 40 minutes, Bang sets another World Championship record this series, 460 CS. Ambition is looking for Wolf. He's caught in the jungle.
Kind of on his own here.
Completely by himself. Gets the Dragon's Rage, eats a shockwave. A lot of ultimates used. Samsung now in a 4v5, 4v4 as Duke was not there.
A critical mistake there by Ambition, because that delays their setup for the Elder Drake and gives Duke time to clear the super minions in the lane with the exposed inhibitors. So Ambition definitely going a little bit too hard there. Last game was definitely the Ambition show. This game is actually being carried a bit by the rest of his team.
And time is exactly what SKT need. They have such a solid team fight composition. If they can make it to the point to even up the war chest here, the gold is starting to close, and the vision game could be in for another banger.
Really heat up if we're able to get to the 5th game. We mentioned SKT with the potential of the reverse sweep. That's what happened the last time when they lost to KT Rolster in the LCK playoffs. You didn't think it would be possible here against Samsung, but Samsung thinks otherwise.
Gentlemen, to give you an idea of how much of a bond better, 10 Barons and 20 Samsung Galaxy start the Elder Dragon using some of their abilities, and Duke is still pushing in the top lane.
Yeah, tight timings here, because They would need to teleport in right now for Duke, and I need to see his Meganar bar.
He's trying to charge it up halfway there.
All right, Dragon is going to reset. The minion wave continues to push. Duke has arrived. He's in the pit. No flash available. Elder Dragon down to 4,000. It seems to be focused. Samsung
Blank combo.
away. It's not reset just yet. Curtain Wolf to Wolf is going to get interrupted by the tidal wave. And Cuvee has found Bang and
Ruler, Rookie of the Year, flashes forward for the play for Samsung to get back inside the base.
What a game for Ruler, but that fight was so close right there. Crowd, and the question is, will that be enough to close the game? It's just Faker and Blank trying to defend.
2 versus 4. Samsung Galaxy waiting for the minions to push in. They've got their second inhib.
Blank's cutting off the minion wave as well, so they can't actually get minions into the base.
Couple of pings on the top inhibitor. The rest of Samsung pushing around. Ambition and Blank starting to go toe-to-toe. Jungler on jungler action. Shockwave catches Ruler, but the Defiance comes up. Crown shuts him down. That's a good kill. The third inhibitor falls. Samsung waits on the supers.
Can't cut all the minion waves. Cuvee's here now.
Cuvee is running into Blank. That's the GA. That's gone down. Cell division might still be up, and it will not matter.
With 3 inhibitors down and 2 players, it's a matter of time, you would think. It's just Bang, Wolf, and Duke to try and prevent a game 5.
Oh, let's see the final push. Sun Galaxy, they throw down the curtain call. Bang packing is not done yet. The Nexus turrets are the focus, and Staples Center play the Silver Scrapes. Samsung and SKT are going to game 5.
And 22 minutes into game 3, you never would have thought this would be possible, but now Samsung is 1 win away from being a world champion.
A completely rebuilt team, bringing players back from CBLOL, from the NALCS, from retirement almost, and from solo queue. Ruler steps up.
From the history books, Ambition role swaps to jungle. The greatest player to never make worlds is in a game 5 championship bout in his first time here.
Greatest role swap of all time.
Yeah, and
Has to be.
we're blessed so far with this series because this is the first World Final to go all 5 games. I cannot wait for this 5th game just to see. I mean, I'm expecting Bangy to sub back in. That Blank substitution did not work whatsoever. He was mismatched with the team in the initiations, and the Zac pocket pick didn't work out very well from them. This is the moment where these teams are truly tested.
They said only the Tigers could push SKT this far.
Wrong.
But Samsung has done it.
They have indeed. We're going to game 5. They head down to the analyst desk to take a look at just how well Samsung won game 4.
We asked for it at the beginning of the day, gentlemen, and Samsung Galaxy has delivered a game 5 for us here. 2 wins for SKT, 2 followed up by Samsung Galaxy, and boy, is this venue heating up.
And after the second game, I was taunting the Fisher, like, you gotta listen to the superior analyst, clear 3-0, and he was like, yeah, and then suddenly everything went downhill from there.
Everything went downhill. Started game 3, obviously.
Went uphill.
Well, it went uphill for Sam, down for SKT, you know, and your prediction, obviously, but we saw that game 3, this was the big turnaround for Samsung. Game 4, you can see how much it means for them now. My voice is gone, I've been yelling in here as well because this is just absolutely crazy to watch. But seeing Samsung in the early game now play much, much better, not make the same over-aggressive mistakes and then get punished for them. There were still a few mistakes here and there, but both teams have had the same ones.
Yeah, definitely, and that was the first early game out of Ambition where I'm like, this guy is now on point, getting multiple camp steals, tracking Blank around the jungle. That's all you have to do against Zac, because this guy needs to impact with his ganks, and he wasn't able to do that because of the Lee Sin.
I'm still so worried for the Samsung bot lane in the early game, though. Every single game they play, they're getting murdered, especially once the CS hits like 20 to 30. Ruler seems to get stuck in really poor trades every single game, and then Samsung get, honestly, a big deficit right there, but on the top side of the map. If you have a deficit bot side, you need to start winning top side, and the man to do that was Cuvee. What a performance from him in that top lane.
Yeah, one of the big things we talked about coming into the series was counter-picking top. Yep. And what it was, you see both top laners do it every single game now. They're able to get like good matchups if you were picking last as a top laner. Kennen was the second time we saw it First time he won the lane big time, but then he got dove 500 times and he just ended up dying and did absolutely nothing in team fights. This game he had a good laning phase, got a solo kill as well, and he took that into team fights. Some beautiful flanks. We even have a replay of one of the insane flanks he pulls off.
Yeah, and we'll get to that replay in just a moment as we see SKT on our screens here going over what the
Blank is from the rest of the team because they're going to win.
Zach, when you use your slingshot to not even get into the fight, you are doing absolutely nothing. He actually jumped in and just painted a big arrow above his head and said, please go for me, and then QA shows up.
And this is what happens when you don't have to go Zhonya second, when you can get the snowboard vote as a Zhonya's as well, and he honestly just tears through that back line.
And that's honestly a great point that Spawn brings up right there, because a Kennen that has the lead, not only can he itemize more efficiently for power teleports, but also you can just keep pushing the lane, allowing for yourself to have more windows of opportunity to exactly use that teleport. In the previous game where he picked Kennen, as the Fishy alluded to, he won lane, but then he got pushed in, meaning he could never really get any teleport. There wasn't any deep vision. But right now, Samsung lured SKT in their jungle, and they punished them super hard.
Yeah, we have to, of course, look at Blank, who got subbed into this game. Picked is Zach. He's played it before already here in playoffs, so it's not like the pick itself is super surprising. But you need so good coordination to play Zach Orianna especially, because you want to coordinate like the proper ball setups and then like a beautiful engage into a fight. He had multiple attempts in the mid lane where they looked very off. We actually saw Samsung win a lot of those skirmishes in the mid lane, and then we just saw that big replay where he jumps in and just literally sets himself in front of Samsung and just allows him to kill him.
Well, let me use the Bengi Blank situation to push us forward to this 5th game, because Bengi is being subbed back in. So after that loss, Game 5, SKT's putting their chips back into the Bengi basket here, and Samsung Galaxy, well, they've chosen blue side. So what are our primary thoughts or preliminary thoughts going into Game 5?
We need a strong pick. If you're a SKT fan, you want a strong pick on Faker, and you want, again, Bengi to play around that mid lane, because if you're watching Faker's player cam throughout the game, he was getting a little bit frustrated at the end as well. He was raising his hands up. Faker has shown that in the past. He's also shown that if you make him angry, which he is right now, he will smash you in the next game. So I'm very excited to see what that guy does.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see if he can transition from what was a really sloppy game with his jungler back to the jungler that he's comfortable with, and whether he can execute really crisply, because that's going to be pretty key in this game.
All right, well, here's the thing. The graphic is up, so now I'm going to go back down the line. I'm going to ask you guys, with this 5th game in mind, I'm going to give you the chance to change your minds here on your predictions. So, Crepo, starting with you, who's going to walk away world champion?
I'm going to change my prediction. Instead of a 3-0, I'm going to go for a 3-2. SKT is still going to win it because they put Bengi back in.
All right, so Bengi back in, seals the deal for you, Crepo, in a 3-2 now. But Spawn, what are you thinking?
You know, in LCK playoffs, when KT got the reverse sweep, I was so happy. Big KT fan back from when they were KTA. And then when they lost out to the Samsung roster, I was like, KT didn't die for this. Well, turns out they did, because they're going to reverse sweep SKT as well. I'm going to flip-flop on this one and lock it in for Samsung.
There it is. We got our vote for Samsung here on the desk. Deficio, what do you got?
Well, you got the crowd with you as well there, Spawn. I think Samsung will have, you know, a super good advantage coming into this, just in terms of mindset, attitude, everything. I do think, however, SKT has the experience to pull this one back, to get Bengi back in there. They're going to play much better with the jungler early on. They're going to get some dragon control. And I'm going to stick to the prediction I had earlier in the day. Competitive series. It will go back and forth, but SKT will win in the end.
Okay, but now I'm going to make you all flip-flop here. I'm going to make you all flip-flop here. So back down the line, though. I want you to give me the reason or the way that Samsung Galaxy wins, and then I want you to give me the reason or the way that SKT wins.
You want to go first?
QV, he needs to have a strong laning phase, and he cannot start falling behind because they need him to set up these big team fights.
All right, so you're looking for the solo lanes to make up for an expected deficit in the bot lane. Now, Spawn, flipping back over to SKT. How does SKT walk away with the victory here after sustaining 2 losses? We have to remember that this is a team that just lost twice in a row.
However, the rest of the team needs to stop feeding for that to happen.
And Ben Lee Sim, by the way. Ambition is making some plays, some good and bad ones, but he's making a lot of proactive plays, and Samsung needs that.
All right, anything left to be said here, Crepo, or are you just going to smile and nod? That's okay, you're a pretty man. You can afford to do that.
I just hope Duke stops trying to be a hero.
Yeah.
He keeps going for these plays. A lot of Cube-based solo kills come from Duke aggressing first. If the plan is for SKT to play around mid lane and get Faker comfortably and have him chip away the turret, Duke is fine being in a CS hole, but he doesn't have to keep going for the place and dying, because that's exactly the moment where Cube takes over the game, and then the advantage spills over, and suddenly that bot lane deficit doesn't matter anymore. So I'm just looking for a strong performance in the bot lane and the mid lane from SKT, and Duke just stop dying.
All right. Well, there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. After 5 weeks of competition, it all comes down to a single game. We'll be back with the deciding clash between SK Telecom T1 and Samsung Galaxy right after this.
in the top lane. Duke and Cuvee, they're going toe-to-toe. Slicing Maelstrom burns through. Flash for flash. Cuvee, first blood. Solo kills Duke. Very good tidal wave. He's found 3. Charges up the Maelstrom. The slingshot. Faker's down. SKT turning it around. Poor JJ gets caught out. The Mega Narc comes down as well. Ranker's exhaust. The curtain call. The gravity. Kills. It's a double for Bang. Duke's in trouble. Ruler can't get the kill. He does in the end. Sends him packing with a deadly flourish. Now Duke's in trouble. The GA's pop. Ruler gets another. Samsung and SKT are going to game 5. And welcome back to the 2016 League of Legends World Championship, where it's all come down to this. One more time into the breach, Samsung Galaxy or SK Telecom. Samsung have elected blue side, as is their want in game 5. SKT have brought back Bengi.
The most important champion select switch. They've chosen to put Bengi in. Because honestly,
Series. And there is so much on the line here in terms of SKT's legacy, and you know how much Faker and the rest of SKT care about this because, I mean, to win 3 and 4 years when the sport is so young will mean that, but Samsung can stop that with one more game.
The beauty is, if Samsung do that, they will actually tie the number of world championships that the organization has with SK Telecom. It was a 2-year road, and we've told the story a bunch. Last year they were 10th and 9th, then 6th, didn't even make very far in the playoff run. And when we've seen the player cams of Faker on stage, he looks visibly upset, frustrated with how the series has gone. Kobe, how does Faker and the rest of SKT now bounce back with momentum technically with Samsung?
That late game poise, that discipline that we always talk about with this team has to show through here. This is where that comes to light. Game 5 of the finals. They showed it versus the Rocks Tigers, and they have to repeat here.
Yeah, and I wonder if it's going to be another Orianna game because it can swing both ways. Either the fatigue catches up with Samsung and it's like the end of the Rock series where they lose the ability to flash the shockwaves, or have they wisened up to it and are very good at playing around it because it seems like it's less effective almost each game he plays it.
I want to talk about that fatigue because these are some of the longest games that we've seen throughout the entirety of the World Championship. You know, 70-minute game, multiple 50-minute games. Fatigue with the finals, with the cup, with this crowd.
And it's not just the time duration either. These are emotionally and mentally draining games. When you get to the 60-minute mark in games like that, and the decisions that you have to make, you know, the pressure of playing in Fog of War, having to juggle Baron versus Elder Dragon versus inhibitors, and what decisions to make that quickly, it takes a toll on you.
It absolutely does. And you can see the man on your screen, Chroma, running through his notebook, running through his options. We're just giving Bengi a couple of minutes to set up once he configures his play area. We're jumping into game 5. I'm going to put you guys on the spot. We're a couple minutes away from picks and bans. What would you anticipate? Because the question in my mind is SYN worth banning or taking away from Ambition?
That's a great question. You just have to look at the last time that SKT was on that side of the map. They threw double jungle bans and a Rise at them. So at that point, I say it's not quite worth banning because I'd still rather see Ambition's SYN than Crown's Rise, but it really would just depend on their confidence level of Faker playing something else into Rise.
Yeah, I don't think you can ban out the jungle currently. This guy also has an amazing Elise. He's received Elise bans before. I mean, these guys have deep champion pools at that